All right, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett wants to break up the state's monopoly on liquor, beer, and wine sales. He says that move will provide a big financial boost for Pennsylvania's schools. Governor Tom Corbett of Pennsylvania joining us now from the state's capital, Harrisburg. Governor, thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to get to the alcohol sales issue first. There's a number of topics we can cover, but you're trying to privatize Pennsylvania's liquor business. I guess my first question is, why is the state still in this business, and what are you proposing?
Well, that's one of the good questions that I have. Why are we still in a business that the private sector can do much better than the public sector can do? And it's because it was created that way 80 years ago by a governor and a General Assembly that thought we should stay in prohibition and made it as hard as possible to buy wine and liquor. And what we're proposing to do is sell off the wholesale portion of that and the retail, and let the private sector come in and purchase and sell both liquor and wine. We're going to have it in different locations. We passed it in the House. We're going to have it in different locations. You'll be able to buy wine and beer in grocery stores for the first time in the last 80 years. You'll be able to buy wine, liquor, and beer in what we call beer distributors in Pennsylvania. And you'll be able to buy it in various convenience stores. What we're trying to do is move into the 21st century. Most importantly, we believe it's going to bring in between $800 and $1 billion, $800 million to $1 billion, the first in a one-time sale only. And we want to invest that money in education and what I call a passport for learning, which would be a block grant program to the 500 school districts of Pennsylvania. And they'd be able to use it for science, technology, engineering, and math programs in grades 6 through 12. Or they could use it for school security if they wanted to. Right. They could use it for getting our children ready to read and do their math by third grade, at a third grade level, what we call Ready by 3, or for various individualized learning programs. So we want to take that money, invest it in our future, and provide what is very important in this is choice and convenience to the citizens of Pennsylvania in buying alcohol, but also to the visitors who come to Pennsylvania and are stunned at the antiquated nature of our alcohol system in Pennsylvania.
I think only Pennsylvania and Utah, the only states left now that exert complete control over such sales. I want to move on to pension reform. Like so many other states, Pennsylvania facing massive unfunded liabilities. I think right now the total retirement benefits to be paid out exceed total assets by some $41 billion. What's the answer? What are you doing to address that?
Well, we are proposing legislation that will adjust some of the actions that were taken in the last decade and address the issue of what happened with the markets that has affected everybody, as you well know, that will reduce the amount of money that we need to pay in each year at this point. Right now, we put $1.6 billion into our pension fund from our general fund for our two different pensions that we run. That number climbs to $4.3 billion by 16-17. Obviously, the economies are not growing that fast to cover that. So there are a formula distribution that needs to be adjusted. We'd also like to take the new people that are coming into both the state education system and into the state employment system and put them into a 401A, which is similar to a 401K system for the future, but also some anti-spiking provisions when it comes to overtime and people accumulating overtime in the last few years and stretching out the last few years as to what your high gross average is. So there's a number of different proposals that have been introduced in the legislature, but it's something we need to do if we're going to be able to continue to grow our economy and at the same time provide more money in areas like education and roads and bridges and so forth.
Very quickly, we've literally got 30 seconds left, Governor. It appears that you've just met this week with Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, and you talked about the Affordable Care Act. What's your take on that? Can you afford to expand Medicaid that this law requires?
Well, as I read it and continue to read it, it's very difficult. It's 800,000 more people to Pennsylvania. We will go from 1 in 6 people to 1 in 4 people on Medicaid. Pennsylvania right now is the number 2 when it comes in the country per capita, percentage-wise. So we are looking to see what availability there is for flexibility, for block grants and so forth. But right now, I'm keeping an open mind. I'm listening to what the Secretary has to say. We made some requests and asked many more questions. I think we have more questions than we really do answers yet, but we're listening. No decision's been made.
Very good. And, Governor, thank you so much. I know you're off on a trade mission to Brazil and Chile tomorrow. We wish you safe travels, and hopefully you can get a lot of business stirred up as well. Governor Corbett of Pennsylvania, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley.